Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for another video, and this is episode...
I'm coming.
First we have my coffee. Nice and hot. What episode is this, dear? Sweetie. Love of my life for 40 years.
Flattery will get you nowhere, but keep it up.
Anyway.
Last episode was the year of our anniversary. Here's your piece
The year of our
paper.
marriage.
Of our marriage.
82.
That would be 1982. Now this is kind of close to calculus, so you might need this.
Does it have letters as well as numbers?
Last episode was 82.
Correct.
Add 1 to that one.
1983. Oh, 83. Thank you, dear.
I'm sure glad you didn't need the calculator.
Yeah, I didn't. Episode 83. Today is Saturday, December 3rd. I forgot to put my watch on, but it doesn't really matter what time it is because you probably won't see this until Sunday. So I also recorded a quilt video on Tuesday this past week. It has not been uploaded. I told him I'd rather have this one go first because he has to take a lot of pictures and etc. to insert them. Plus, he's gone back to work. He now has a part-time job. It's like me working at the quilt shop. He's working at the woodcraft store, so he's been busy a lot. And it kind of narrows my time on when I can video because I use his phone. Because he's got a newer phone and it has a better camera, so, we can't go anywhere without our phones nowadays. Which, by the way, if you watch Niecy Lynn, which you should because she's entertaining. I don't always stitch the same things. Some of them I would, but she put her phone in the microwave for 30 seconds. It started on fire. And it was in like a little wallet type thing that also had all of her driver's license and all that. So Niecy Lynn, I feel your pain. Praying that you're better. She taps her eyebrow. She said to get better or to get okay. Anyway, Niecy, I'm thinking about you. I watched that yesterday and I was like, oh no. We just kind of live by our phones, which is really kind of sad because it wasn't that way when I was growing up. You just carried a quarter around or a dime to make a phone call. I have tons of stuff here to show you. And first maybe I should do it last. But I changed the wall behind me to include Christmas or sort of Christmas things. And then I haven't totally decorated for Christmas in the house, but hopefully today and tomorrow we'll get to that. But I've also put some things here, and I'll mention the patterns and what they are. I have them stacked in front of me, so as I get to it. But what you can see here is, okay. First of all, this one is Christmas Garden by Blackbird. I did not get out the patterns for the Blackbird pieces. I just didn't. It takes a little bit more searching. I have 4 boxes of Blackbird, plus I have a huge basket of Blackbird. And I believe it's in their Home for the Holidays newer book. But originally when I did it, it was in, it was a single chart. And I think it was loose feathers, but I'm not sure. I used all the called for colors. I stitched it on whatever it called for, whether it was 32 or 30 or 28, I don't remember. I stitched it before Camille was born, and she was born in 2015. Because I put the initials of my grandmother, my mother, my sister, me, and my daughter. So all the females going back to my grandmother, my mother's mother, on my mother's side. And then I didn't put Camille's. So I need to put a label on the back to include Camille's initials. So I know I did it prior to 2015. And I know I used the called for because I used to think you had to. So that is Christmas Garden. Okay, let me just, and like I said, I didn't get out the pattern. This one is a Yuletide Welcome by Plum Street. I'm not going to take them out of the patterns if I can avoid it. Yuletide Welcome by Plum Street is this one right here underneath Christmas Garden. So that one is that. Let's see. The one next to Yuletide, this one here, if you can see it. And I'll have him take a picture of this at the end, maybe of just the wall so you can see what I'm talking about. It's the Noel Sampler by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And again, I know I used the called for. And then this one over here is not necessarily a Christmas. Let's see if I can find it. But it's all red and green. And it's Mary Betchel by the Scarlet House. Mary Betchel. Like I said, it's not necessarily Christmas, but it's all red and green. So I have others I could have put up here, but it's kind of hard to space things when you have a smaller wall like that. Let's see, above, okay, the one right here that has a green frame is Francis Poole. Again, it's not a Christmas one, but it has a lot of red and green. So I decided to put it up there. And that one is by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Last time I showed you some wonderful reproduction samplers that Brenda has done. And I know she's really known for doing a lot of her own designs that are gorgeous and smalls. But she also does do reproduction samplers. So this is Francis Poole, 1832 by With Thy Needle and Thread. You can find these on her website. Let's see, what's above it? This one, oops, right there, is a La-Di-Da. Again, it's not Christmas, but it has a lot of red and green, so I chose to put it up there. I have other Christmas ones. Some aren't framed, and some of them just wouldn't fit in the configuration. But it's called Big Red House by La-Di-Da. And it says, let me live in a house by the side of the road and be a friend to all. So there again, it's not necessarily Christmas, but it reads as Christmas. This is still available, I believe. And then there's 3 above there, and I'll just tell you what they are rather than try to move the camera. The middle one, when he takes a picture, you'll see the whole thing, is Stacy Nash, and it's called Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. And again, I used all the called for because I thought I had to. And then on that side up there above the Big Red House that you can't see is And to All a Good Night by Blackbird. And let's see, what's on the other side? The other side is Cherry Hollow Farm Sampler, also by Stacy Nash. So I could have chosen to use any, thing with a red house, but I tried to stay true to mostly reds and greens. Okay, and then this here, is that, I don't know if that's good grammar. This one that says Noel is called Merry Noel, and it's by Brenda Gervais. Merry Noel. I believe I did change the color. It's supposed to be wood rose. And my wood rose was very orangey. It's by Gentle Art. Wood rose can vary. So I chose to use, I think I used Sanguine. Let me see if I can hold it closer. I stuffed it with sawdust. I love this one. I love all of her pieces that have the big letters. And there's a lot of them I still want to do. There's one that says home. I did the boo, the Halloween boo. But I would love to do all of these. And I just added a bow and a rusty bell. Filled it with sawdust, although I could have filled it a little bit tighter. So that's a Merry Noel by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This one, let's see if I can move it here. This is by Stacy Nash. It's called The Silent Night Pin Keep and Ornament by Stacy Nash. I love this piece. I did this in 2018. And here's the complimentary. Oh, you're so nice. No, the compliment. What is the word I'm looking for? The one that goes with it. Silent Night. I did not use the same linen. I don't think. Maybe I did. I did use the same on this one. So this is the Silent Night Pin Keep and Ornament. So I've done both of them. And I didn't put anything extra on them. I backed them with whatever came with the kit, maybe. It originally was a country sampler kit for the country sampler Stacy Nash Club, I believe, because it says Country Sampler, Silent Night, Pin Keep and Ornament. And so I did that one a few years ago. Did I show you this one? What did I do with the pattern for that one? I thought I had it out. Hold please. Did I already talk about it? Nope. It's also a Stacy Nash, so I'll get to that one soon. Hold on. I think I put the pattern here somewhere. Oh, yeah, the pattern's here somewhere. Okay, so now I'm just going to start showing you ones that I have finished. Some are fully finished. And then finally, I'm going to get to what I've been stitching. But I'll get to that at the end, or after I finish showing you all these. This is another With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I was watching Christy, Daisy K's Primitives, and she just finished this one. She only did part of it and then made it into a pin keep. It's adorable. This called for 35 count straw, and that's what I used. So this one is called Jingle Bells by With Thy Needle and Thread. And it's not, whoops, it has some sawdust on it. It's not fully framed, but it's close enough. So there it is. Jingle Bells. Was that the name of it? Yeah. Okay. This one I didn't get out the pattern, but I made this last year. It's a Brenda Gervais. When I get out my little tree, and I can't remember the name of it. But I will get back and let you know. You finish it into this like half ornament. Sorry for the glare, but that's part of the piece. But I know it's Brenda Gervais. And it's not over 1, it's over 2. So I have that one. I'm trying to put things in different places so when I'm done, I can find everything. I have this one finished. This is by Plum Street, 1831 Christmas. By Plum Street. I just love that sheep, lamb, whatever. I did the twisty cording. I didn't do a very good job, but I do glue. I had a lot of people ask me, how do I attach this? I glue. And I use the Aleene's glue. I think I've spelled it wrong when I've answered people. It's actually A-I, and I think I've spelled it like Eileen, but it's Aleene. It's in a gold container. So I glue all that stuff on. And when I finish, when I do fully finishing, I put iron-on interfacing behind the piece and behind the backing. And then I fill with sawdust, which I get from my husband from the garage. So I recommend sawdust. If you don't have any place that you can get it, you can always try one of the woodworking stores. However, if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or one of the big box stores, it may not be that clean. Where my husband has like a collector of sawdust, so there's no air exposed to it. It just has the sawdust in there, so it's clean. But otherwise, you're going to get a lot of dust and other particles. You could get a leaf, in with it. So years ago, I used to order sawdust from Scattered Seed on Etsy, but I don't know if she still sells sawdust or not. And it's not cheap. And to pay to have it shipped is a little, I'm embarrassed to even admit that. But anyway, this one is called 1831 Christmas by Plum Street. Okay. And here's this one. Let's see if I can grab it out of there without anything falling. Probably not. This one is Snowed In Pin Keep and Ornament by Stacy Nash. I almost put this back up here. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Just decorate with the patterns. I mean, we don't need to stitch them. I have enough patterns. I could just put the patterns all around and say, future, to be determined or to be finished. That's worse than putting the unfinished piece there. So here's this part of it. Again, Snowed In Pin Keep and Ornament by Stacy Nash. I've debated on whether I like this white around the edge, but I'm not changing it. And since there's white around the edge of the house, I kind of thought it coordinated. So that will probably fall. And then here's the other one that goes with it. And these, I did use different linens because this was not a kit. I love these little ones, and I really want to start making more of these just little ones because they're really nice to tuck in and they don't take hardly any time to finish. So Snowed In Pin Keep, that was the pin keep. This is the ornament that goes with it. The next one, another Stacy Nash, and this is a country sampler. I guess it was a Stacy Nash club. Country Sampler Sleigh Bells Pin Keep and Ornament. Again, love it. Can you read it? I don't really know if these are available or not. I would think they are. So here's this one with this funky girl. I think she has a little scoliosis or something because her hips do not match her waist. Either that or she's doing a little dance or something. Anyway, I love the little dog. I just love this. And to me, things like this that have a border don't always need extra trim around the edges. As I hold up one that has trim around the edges. And this is the complement. And I know it was a kit because I have the same fabric on the front and back. So there's the horse, the sleigh, and the tree. And this one I just added a pin, a key, and a rusty bell. Now, if you just Google rusty bells, small rusty bells, small rusty pins, small rusty stars. You're going to get, I think it comes from a place called Factory Direct. And you have to order like 50 of them. But they're not super expensive, and they can be delivered right to your house. So don't go searching for 3 in a package. You might as well just, if you're going to do your own finishing, even if you're not going to do your own finishing, you can always send this with a piece. But they're easy to get. I've had people ask me, where do you get rusty bells? So you get them by Googling rusty bells or rusty stars or rusty pins or rusty keys, whatever. You can get them. So those 2 pieces. The next one, and I have some other things that I don't know where they are. I have a couple shelves, and then I have things in with Christmas. We've gotten out a lot of Christmas, but not everything, so we're kind of in midst. So hopefully we'll get everything done this week. This one is by, who is this by? Oh, Chessie and Me. The Be Merry Pin Pillow. Love this piece. Be Merry Pin Pillow. And there it is. Again, I love these small ones. You can just tuck them in. Be merry. I love the dark linen. Although mostly I'm a pretty traditional red and green Christmas, but I do like primitive also. So I kind of mix them. Be merry. This is an old Brenda Gervais. I made it twice. I made it last year as my ornament exchange at the Farm Girl Dry Goods. Brenda Gervais was our featured designer. It was the fall one. And I made this ornament. I made it as part of the ornament exchange. And I liked it so much, I came home and stitched it again for myself. It is, I don't even think this is on her website anymore. I don't remember the name of it, and I have loaned the pattern. It's an old one. Now, if you go into an LNS, you know, and we have a needlework store, but they've never reopened from COVID. You have to have them bring it out to your car. But they used to have like a basket that had some really old Brenda Gervais patterns, and I believe that's where I got it. So if you go into your LNS, if they have some, you know, Brenda Gervais old patterns, you might find it. In fact, the chart has color. It's a color chart, which most of hers are, and it doesn't even have symbols. So if the chart says it's green, then you stitch with whatever the green it calls for. If the chart says white, so there's no like dot or X or whatever. And a couple people asked Brenda Gervais at that retreat if she would reprint it, and she said no. She said it's too old. You know, some things you have to realize, maybe they were originally on, you know, an older computer that they weren't able to get it anymore. It wasn't available. In other words, they've updated their computer, is what I'm trying to say, and they lost the files to that when they updated their computer. Because I'm such a techie. Not.
Move along.
Okay, the next one is Peppermint Pals. This is also by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And at that retreat last year, I bought some kitted pieces, and I think I showed most of those last time. So this was a kit, and it's on 32 count mint Lugana, but it's over 2. I think I used 32. I might have used 36. So it's Peppermint Pals by Brenda Gervais. It came out in 2019. And here's my finished piece. My little bow and star have a little bit to be desired here. And here's that one. And I put the mini rickrack, which she's out of. You might try Farm Girl Dry Goods to see if she has any mini rickrack, because I was able to get some at the past retreat. She had some. But I noticed on Brenda Gervais' website, she says the mini rickrack is out of stock. I don't know if that's permanently or just temporarily. So I have that one finished. Another Stacy Nash, that's another country sampler one. And I have more that aren't finished, so. But this one is called Country Sampler December 25th Pin Keep. I almost said December 15th. Today is the 3rd. Is it the 3rd? Yeah. I have gotten so many quilts. Last year I had a deadline for quilts. I think it was December 1st or the 5th, something around there. So I had a couple of people ask me, are you still taking quilts? And I said yes, because at the time I only had like 2 quilts to do here. Then all of a sudden I got I've got 9 this week, and they're all Christmas presents, except for 2. So by the 15th is when I want to have them all done. So that's why I almost said December 15th. So I'll be hibernating in my long arm room. But most of them aren't huge, so. Anyway, this one is called December 25th Pin Keep. And I believe this was a kit, because I recognize this as one of Jeannie's fabrics, either that or a fabric that came from her store. December 25th. The 25th is in here, see? With the snowman face or head. Isn't he cute? Very cute. Okay, we'll keep going. Here's another Brenda Gervais. This is called Santa's Tree Farm. And it's just one of her small ornaments that you put into a hoop. And I used her red and white gingham. Again, Santa's Tree Farm. Did I show you that long enough? By With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And you do a little bit cut off the edges in order to fit in, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, the edges of this tree, like you don't see that part. Or I think this tree's only a half, but isn't he cute? A little reindeer up there. He's a nice hippie Santa. Hippie has big hips. This is Holly Hoopla by Brenda Gervais. And again, this is one that I got a kit last year and finished with the red and white gingham. This one went super fast. Both of these that are in the hoops, I did put just a little bit of batting, or maybe I put polyfill, but it's a little bit, tad bit puffy. These will all go on my small tree, which I'm not sure where I'm going to put my small tree. That's all to be determined. That's just a little star. I had it up here. This was a gift from somebody. I didn't make it. I could have bought it. I don't know. So that was Holly Hoopla and Santa's Tree Farm. This one is Threadwork Primitives. Merry Christmas. I've used this little green check on a lot of, it's a homespun. And here's the pattern. Christmas Fruit Basket is the name of it, by Threadwork Primitives. So that is that one. I'm going to show you some things that have been gifts to me This is I know it's a with thy needle and thread, and we had an ornament exchange not too long ago at our stitching group. Well, I say not too long ago. This one could have been 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. But this gal stitches beautifully. Her name is Mary Ann. And I was fortunate enough to get this piece. But I didn't look it up. I'm not sure what the name of this one is. But it's definitely a Brenda Gervais. It's her Santas. The look of her Santas. Her Santas and her witches, you can just tell. There's a certain look to them. This is one a few years ago that was a freebie on Paulette Stewart Plum Street's website. And I believe it was kind of a release a little bit at a time. And this was stitched for me by Yard Girl Suzanaki. I sat by her a week ago or so ago at our stitchy meetup, and she was telling me about her new books that she has coming out. So exciting. I'll just say she's going to have some that are cross-stitch and quilting in 2023. So very exciting. She's very, very talented and crazy. Anyway, she made me this one, and I love it. And I know it was Paulette Stewart on her blog. So you may be able to still find that if you go to Paulette Stewart's blog. This is another gift someone made for me. I believe this is a JBW. It's like it's plum pudding. But it has all these cool things. It has a reindeer. Just has all these some holly. A crown, hearts. There's all these cool things in it. So I'm pretty sure this is JBW. Has a velveteen on the back. That was another one that was a gift. This was another gift. And I believe, I don't know who this is by. I think it's either Plum's, well, I don't know. I shouldn't say. It says Christmas, the most wonderful time of the year. Somebody recently showed this. And I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was from a either the ornament issue or it may have been on Daisy K's Primitives. It was either the ornament issue in previous years, Christmas ornaments, or it was in Primitive Punch Needle and Cross Stitch, whatever that name of that magazine is. So it's one or the other, but that doesn't help you. But since it was a gift, I think I have the right to give it a pass. I know this is by Scarlet House. This was originally a Dying to Stitch kit. And I have the kit, so this would be a nice thing to stitch for my sister for Christmas. Except this is the kind of thing you actually want before Christmas so that you can decorate. Because if you give it to them for Christmas, they're just going to put it away and wait till the next year. And then they're going to go, I wonder where this came from. Not that anybody else does that. This is an Under the Woolen Willow mittens. I have some others of hers around Christmas, but this is the only one that was available to get out. This is another one. This, I think, is a little house or country cottage. This again was a gift. It says peace. But these are so nice to hang on a little small tree. Another one that was a gift, and I think this again is either little house or country cottage. Not sure. But the finishing, this is all done over one, and the finishing is gorgeous. The person that made that for me moved away. She's not in our group anymore, but I think she did this one too. I think this might be a Mill Hill. Because this is one like, it's on like a plastic canvas type thing. But I think you could do that for those sleds. Here's this one. And this is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And it's called Snow for Christmas. And he's riding on a lamb, sheep, ewe. Hold on here. I gotta get organized. This was a gift years ago. A gal gave me this. It actually says, "Wish you a Merry Christmas." 2013. 9 years ago. Wow. And our group is only 10 years old, so this was one of the first exchanges we had. And it hangs, so it's nice to put like on a doorknob, or, you know, it's a little too heavy to put on the tree, but it's nice to, you know, just decorate a desk or something, or a doorknob, or a desk drawer. This is one I was fortunate enough to receive last year. This was done by Jennifer, the Purple Stitcher. I have loved this for years. It's Letters for Santa by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. It is still available on her website, but you have to order quickly because I think she's closing down for Christmas. I think she's, well, not closing down, but in order to get all the orders filled before Christmas, she's has a deadline. Letters for Santa. I love this one. Love it. With the red ticking, and this was my beautiful piece that I received. This was one that I stole. You had to steal to get it. And I generally take all this off when I store it for Christmas. But how fabulous is this? And it's packed with sawdust, and it's like packed. I mean, it is stuffed to the gills. She did a beautiful job. Her finishing, everything is just gorgeous. Jennifer, the Purple Stitcher, made that. I love it, Jennifer. It's one of my very most treasured things. And here's a couple things I've done. A couple more things I've done. I think this one is called something delivery. It needs to be filled more. It's kind of a fail in my finishing, but it's by Blackbird. What's it called? Something holiday delivery, Christmas delivery. It has beads. I need to open it up, which I could easily do at the top here and add more. It actually is filled with walnut shells, so it makes it kind of smushy. But I think I'm going to add sawdust to make it a little bit more substantial.
Smushy. We spell that?
S-M-O-O-S-H-Y. Smushy. He's not supposed to be listening. Here's another one that I'm not totally happy with the finishing. It's by Artful Offerings. And the colors I used are not the called for colors. I had a kit from Country Sampler. Now, if they don't have the kit and you want to stitch it like this, ask them for their conversion, and you will have to buy the threads from them. But if you ask to buy the threads, you can get the conversion, and that's how it looks. So the original colors, like the blanket on the horse, is more teal, and she made it more green. Right now it's a pillow. It's not real full. It has some sawdust and some, but I could have filled it with more. But it can sit on a rocker with another pillow that I have and be fine. Okay. Actually doing pretty good. And I showed you the pattern. Artful Offerings, Horse Country Holiday, and mine was a kit from Country Sampler. Then I thought I'd show you some ancient pieces. One year we had some damage. I can't remember if it was in the attic or the garage, but anyway, some of my pieces got destroyed. But these were a few that survived. 1981. And I only started stitching in like, I don't know, 80. This is actually off center a little bit. Just a little tree. Have no idea where it came from, but it's done on Ada. Here's another one. It says Holiday Greetings. Also done on Ada. But these are pretty small Ada. I want to say this is like 18 count. Both of these. And this one I remember was on 22 count, and you can see it's got some damage on the little frame. I'm pretty sure this was 22 count. But I put them out every year. And these were needlepoint, again, 1981. Also 1981. But you do it square, and then you pull the corners in to make it like that. But here's the ones that I have finished. These are wool, and I made these again years ago. I think I taught a class at the store in wool applique. It's not quite a good circle, but. And I couldn't find the patterns this morning, but I know I have kits to make some more. So I have like 6 of them made. Tree, candle. Another tree. So you do the black and you stitch it to the red circle, little fireplace. And an angel. And I know I have more, so hopefully I can finish those. So then here's a few pieces that I have not fully finished. They need to be framed. This is a blackbird piece. It says Peace on Earth. They've done 4 Christmas ones, and I'm going to show you the patterns. They've done 4 Christmas ones. This is not one of the ones, but this is, I'm pretty sure it's in a book. It's a blackbird for sure, and it's done on oaken. Probably 36 count oaken with the called for. This one, every year I say I'm going to frame it, and I had it framed at one time, but it was framed in too big of a frame. The name of it is Merry Christmas Ella Vaughn, but Ella Vaughn is one of Elma relatives, so I put my mother's father's mother. So my maternal, paternal, I don't know. It's my mother's father's mother. So her name was Laura Fields. But I know it's Merry Christmas Ella Vaughn is the name of the pattern. I didn't get it out. I didn't get out any blackbird ones. This one, all bundled up, is another one of those. I have the Scaredy Cat one that's Halloween. This is by Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. Needs to be framed. I did this one in 2019 because I can remember when Lindsay was in the hospital stitching all that white for the snowman's head. Can you see it? There you go. But this white really shows up nice, and this is 40 count. There's another one that needs to be framed. This is Christmas in My Heart. This was a kit from Country Sampler. I think I saw this in their Christmas pictures of the store. So you might be able to still get this kitted, but I'm not sure. But I know for sure you can get, anytime there's a conversion, you can always buy the threads. You have to buy the threads, but if you buy the threads, you can get Jeannie's conversion. But this one is by Sampler's Not Forgotten, Christmas in My Heart. It has a pine cone on the picture, so that's why it kind of looks like there's something right here. And that one's done, needs to be framed. So the story is that there's a gal at the local Hobby Lobby who's like fairly young, everybody says when they describe her. And she knows how to lace and knows how to work with needlework. Because the problem I've had with Hobby Lobby in the past is that they don't stretch it evenly. You know, you might have half a margin on one side and a quarter of an inch margin on the other. But I know that's where Susan Aki got all of her, if you've seen her pictures of her red sampler wall, I know that's where she got all of hers framed. One of the gals in our stitching group recently took her Jane, it's not Bannister, Jane, can't remember. It's the Hands Across the Sea that has the big basket and the big roses. Anyway, Jane Hopkins, she recently took it to be framed and specifically talked to this one gal. So I'm going to take some of these pieces and see if I could, even if I don't get them by Christmas. I mean, they're not displayed now, so what's the difference? Whether they come in January or not. So that one is Christmas in My Heart by Sampler's Not Forgotten. And it was a kit from Country Sampler with their conversion. And this one is by Chessie and Me, and it's Peace and Goodwill Sampler. Again, this is another Country Sampler that I got the conversion for the threads. Chessie and Me, Peace and Goodwill Sampler. Now, when I did this one, it was not like I was in a hurry because obviously it's been done for at least a year and it's still not framed, but there was a lot of over one where it says by my hand, and then down here it says cherish peace and goodwill, be plenteous in mercy. I didn't do that. I just put peace and goodwill over two. Because I didn't, at that point, I was done with it. I didn't want to do any over one. And I'm not sure what this is stitched on. It looks like a Beach Brew or Winter Brew, one of those. It's not as white as it looks. It's blowing out. It's a little bit more light grayish. So that is pretty. Oh, this one's kind of funny. Let me see if I can get to it here. I know this was in a magazine, and I've seen other people have this, show this. This I did in 1987. This is a blast from the past, and I'm pretty sure it was in a magazine. And I see some of these have been in a drawer. ABC, XYZ, WXYZ, Christmas Time Means Love to Me, done on Ada. I guess this was the beginning of my love for darker fabrics. 1987, wow. I want to say my husband framed this, but I don't know. Because there's no label on the back. As far as who framed it, I don't know. Blast from the past. Okay, that is all that I have to show you. However, I need to show you what I've been stitching, and then I have some other patterns I was going to show you of some things that might be on my radar. Now, I know it's December 3rd. That means I don't have that much stitching time, but I love to stitch in the season. Even if I don't finish it, I love to stitch in the season. So even though I have a lot of Christmas smalls, and I'll be filling a couple dough bowls and putting some on a tree and all of that, I still want to stitch Christmas. I have 3 other things that I know I've stitched, but I can't find them. I mean, they'll turn up. I've stitched this one, Kringle and Woodard, it's somewhere. I've stitched this one, Sampler House. Again, it's somewhere. And I've stitched this one, Merry Christmas Sampler, because I remember putting the wool on the back of this one. So I'll show you those next time if I find them. So let me talk really quick about what I've been working on. Some things that came in the mail. Okay, first the thing I wanted to show you, going back to Thanksgiving, I finished this little guy. I finished it like on Thanksgiving Day, so fully finishing it was not really an option. I will at least cut it apart because it's too big of a piece to put in my to be finished box. But it's Happy Thanksgiving. It's part of For the Bowl series by Thread Milk Primitives, or just Thread Milk Designs. I'm sorry. I would also see, this is what I'm talking about. I love these little ones that you can just tuck in somewhere. Like I did that Goodness and Plenty. So this one I really want to do, Grateful. Ye Old Turkey Tavern, and then the 4. I just think they're all really cute. So this is her Thanksgiving Turkey Tavern, her Thanksgiving Smalls for the Bowl series. Thread Milk Designs. Now, I also have the Christmas one. I don't know if I got it out. If I didn't, I'll show it to you next time. So that was a finish. And then, praise God, I have finished Jane Cowie finally by the Scarlet House. I had the last line to do of over 1, and I had her part of her name and date left to do. I started one afternoon about 2 o'clock, worked till 1 o'clock, or about 1 o'clock in the morning. So that was on, anyway, whatever. It was toward the end of Thanksgiving, toward the end of November. So it is done, but my point is it took me 8 or 9 hours just to do one line. So because I stitch in a hoop for my over 1, it just is poke and stab. So she's done. I realized last time I showed it to you that it was kind of wrinkly. She's one that I really want to send away to have framed. Jane Cowie by the Scarlet House, done on 40 count, Meadow Rue by Lakeside Linens, with the called for NPI silks. I think they're NPI. Yep. I love her. Let me move my coffee. I don't want to dip her in my coffee. She's gorgeous. So I think it was Market 2021. This and Charlotte Frost both came out, and I loved both of them. And I have now finished both of them. I didn't get Charlotte Frost out to show you, but I just need to get some things framed. I have so many pieces that need to be framed. It's going to take an act of Congress to get them done. So I worked on that, obviously. And then I had always intended to bring out my Hannah Tingy 1823 and work on it during November. This is the one. This is also by the Scarlet House. This is the one that the reindeer have such big eyes, or the deer, or whatever. And I did not finish it, but I have made quite a bit of progress on this one. So I stitched quite a bit on this one during the month. And this is where I am. So I've completely finished the bottom section with the exception of the over one words in the cartouche. And then I have finished I had only one deer done. I finished that. I filled in the windows. So in the middle section, all I have left to do is these two butterflies and all of these little, I don't know if they're flies or bees. And then there's a couple birds and a couple flowers, but all of this section here I need to finish. But I don't know what these things right here are. They look like some sort of bugs. So this is all done except for the cartouche words. This is all done right in here. I need to do this, and then I need to finish the over one and this band and these two flowers. So I don't have a whole lot to do left, but I think I can for sure finish it this year. I'm hoping. So I'm working on that big up and down band. So really from here to there is where I need to finish, and then the over one words. Which evidently when I started doing these over one, I started with I was doing a tent stitch, which is half of a cross. So we'll see. And then since I do love to stitch in the season, I had this kit that I bought last year at the Farm Girl Dry Goods at Brenda's pop-up shop. So in 2021. So I bought the kit. I thought, oh, that's cute. It kind of goes with Peppermint Pals, the one that was on the little bit of turquoisey Lugana. It's called Mint, I think. So I thought, oh, I'll get him out and work on him. I did not realize. And it doesn't matter. I can stitch on it. It calls for 46 count Confederate gray. I think they call it gray now, but whatever. 46 count. You don't usually find kits that have 46 count, but it's fine, and I'm stitching it. He's going to be small. So he's about half done. So I have to do the rest of his coat and then the greenery along the side, and then there's more. It's kind of hard to see with what she has. There's another. He's holding a snowman stocking, and there's more of the vine at the bottom. And this guy is cute. So that can be a finish. But the white is showing up nice, like on his beard. It's showing up nice. Has a candy cane in his belt. So I have a lot to do on him. But I don't always like orangey kind of colors for Santas. And this particular one uses chili pepper, which is orangey. But he's cute and he's coming out fine. So sometimes you just have to go with what the designers pick and just trust them. And I have a lot of other patterns I was going to show you. I may pick out a few to show you because I'm kind of going long here. This is Joy and Good Cheer. Originally, I got this kitted from Farm Girl Dry Goods. I don't think she still has any kits left, but she does have the pattern. Joy and Good Cheer. So I'd like to work, when I finish the little merry old soul, I want to work on this guy. And then this is another one that I have kitted from, I tell you, I'm a sucker for this. It's just so easy to just pick it up and start it. Now, I can kit. I have a lot of floss and everything. But somehow at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night, when I decide I want to switch what I'm stitching, I can pick this up and just say, let's go. I just think he's so cute. So I have those. These are my threads that I'm using for that Merry Old Soul. And that chili pepper's pretty orange, but it works. So one other thing that I was working on, I picked this one up. I had barely started on this, and I picked this one up last night. And this is I Had a Father, Kind and True. I love this. And I'm happiest when I'm stitching some smalls and a sampler. That's when I'm happiest, because it kind of rings all the bells and the buttons and whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I love the smalls. I've shown you a lot of smalls. I love decorating with the smalls. They're quick gratification because you can usually do them fairly quick, 3 to 4 days, 5 days, whatever. It's still quick if you stitch as much as I stitch. But then I like to have a sampler going that I just feel like is more, it's like the relaxing. I can do fill in. I can, I'm doing a house. I can do a border. It's just more the methodical stitching. Does that make sense? It's like the yin and yang of me. Okay. I've talked so much, my coffee's gotten cold. So I Had a Father, Kind and True. This is by Cross Stitch Antiques. And I'm using all of the called for. I believe I ordered it directly from Kathleen Kitted. So it calls for 46 count Old Sheep by X Jude, which is a gorgeous fabric. Gorgeous. And I'm using the 103 that it calls for. Or you can do DMC, but I got the 103 silks. So, this doesn't look like a lot, but I had just done like this little bit. And this is where I am. Now, just tell you something. What I have done is half of the top border. So where my finger is over here is about how wide this thing's going to be. On 46 count, no less. The count is 491 by 486. Talk about slow and methodical. That's what this is going to be. So it's going to come about over to here, because this is half. So half would put it, and yes, I do have enough fabric because I measured it, put it about to here. So it'll give me about a 2.5 inch margin. Well, there's a little more on this side, but I know I measured it really good. And it's almost as tall as it is wide. So I'm just methodically working, and I have these, the 103 in this little container that my friend made me. It says I'd rather be stitching. And this is the color for the vine. And this is the beautiful red for the flowers. So I'm just going to try to make progress. I would love to get the entire border done. Fortunately, it only goes up 3, and then it has a different border on the bottom. You can't really see it here on the picture. I believe this is the antique. But there is a small border. It's like four rows. Anyway, the fact that it doesn't go all the way around means that you can fudge it if you don't come out exact. And it'll be a lot of counting, because to go from like here to here, there's a lot of counting to get to those. So I started that one, and I'm very happy with just occasionally picking that up to work on. Then I'm going to talk about haul, which I didn't have very much. This is the Peace on Earth by Samplers Not Forgotten. This is a special exclusive from Country Sampler. And it called for 36, but if you wanted 40, you could email her, so I got the 40 count. Isn't that beautiful? Now keep in mind, I haven't done the Plum Street one from last year. Love it. I also got my traditional stitches, Lakeside piece, and I got navy bean. You kind of get whatever. And then this is another one from Cross Stitch Antiques that I ordered. I love this piece. It came kitted with 40 count vintage Lakeside buttercream. And it's called On Love by Elizabeth Topham, 1838. It has a lot of words, but they're not over one. Isn't that beautiful? And it has more than just red. It has a little bit of green. So that could qualify as one that would go up at Christmas time. I think, well, no, I have a few other things. But the other thing I wanted to say, and that is a sincere apology. I was gifted something very, very nice. And I put it in a special place so that I've probably had it at least 3 weeks. And I put it in a special place, maybe longer, so that I could remember to show it as Happy Mail. And then I kept forgetting to get it out to show. So I was graciously gifted this chart, and it's gorgeous. It's called Antrim's Folly. It's by Heart's Ease, which is Teresa Baird. And a gal named Jackie gave me this, which was so, so nice. And it's an adaptation of a piece by Mary Antrim. I think her name was Mary. Mary Antrim, I think. It's an adaptation. But the original one, I think I read that it was auctioned off for $1 million. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I read. The original one has, this cartouche. It's not exact, but it's very close. So it's definitely it's an adaptation. The person that bought it, Jackie, said she loved the girl on the horse, but reality told her she probably would never stitch it. But even if you just did this part and made it into a drum, how fabulous would that be? I haven't kitted it. It'll definitely be something that I'm going to consider kitting, because this was a wonderfully generous gift. And I am so sorry that I did not mention this sooner. Some days I just don't have the brain that I was born with. I don't know where it went. But I apologize profusely, Jackie, for not mentioning this sooner and not thanking you properly. It's a fabulous gift. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I just have a few. I'm going really long. I'm sure my husband's about to have a heart attack. I wanted to show you a few things that I'm considering stitching. I've shown you a few. But here for sure is one that I really want to stitch. This is by Chessie and Me. It's in here upside down, so hopefully the stuff won't fall off. It's called Stella's Sleigh Ride. I got this originally at Country Sampler. I, for the life of me, could not find this last year. Could not find it. Because I bought the sleigh to put it all in. So there's a stitch piece, and then there's you know, there's just pieces that go together. There it goes. It's going to fall out. Stella's Sleigh Ride. I do believe they still have this pattern at Country Sampler. So it's completely kitted, ready to go. I definitely want to work on at least this part this year. So I'm putting it with the sleigh. So if I ask, you're going to say, you put it with the sleigh. This is one I got out. I was going to start this on Thanksgiving, but I didn't. It's by the Scarlet Letter. It's the Mary Ann Hutton sampler, and it's Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And it's actually before the song was written, if you read the history. I have it kitted. I have it kitted with 36 count vintage pearl barley. The only drawback on this is it's a hand-done chart, which those are kind of like tedious. I can do them, but they're tedious. This one I stitched already and gave it away, and I'd like to stitch it again for myself. It just says Merry Christmas. It's by Stacy Nash. It's the Merry Christmas pin keep. I saw Christy Daisy Case Primitive. She has started this one. This is the red and green carnation sampler. This was part of the Schoolgirl Sampler kits from Country Sampler last year. It's not specifically Christmas, but when it's red and green, it would go gorgeous on my wall, which I'm going to take this down after Christmas. Put some other things up. And the only other thing I wanted to, I have Plum Street stuff in here. I have a bunch of other things, but I for sure wanted to show you some Blackbird pieces. These were all dying to stitch kits, and I have yet to finish them. This is Rose Hips and Ivy by Blackbird. Some of these have since come out. I would also love to stitch the stockings that are in Home for Holidays. This is called Tis the Season Sewing Bag, which, by the way, Blackbird has out a new book. I haven't ordered it yet, but I mean, I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm definitely getting it. It's an autumn book. This one is Noel. Like I said, these are all, but Blackbird can be a little tricky because you think, oh, that's small, that'll go fast. And yet you look at something like this, Tis the Season, there's a lot of stitching on there. A lot. And I'm sure there's more on the back of that. And then there's this one, which is the Merry Christmas pin drum. So that's like 4 pieces there. My friend challenged me to do this one last year. This was Loose Feather 17. She started it. Now, I have it kitted with the original, which is 30 count. She told me to suck it up and just do it on the original. Kind of rude, right? No, I love her. Anyway, she has, since I think she's almost finished with it. And she always says, have you finished Evergreen yet? No. But I'd have to do 2 strands. So then there's the series of Christmas ones. There's 4 of them that Blackbird has come out with. This is the first one. And this one has some kind of lighter, brighter colors. It says Merry Christmas. And I like it. It's not as light and bright as you might think from the picture. I thought it had lavender in it. If it has lavender, I may have to pass. I am not a purple person at all. But I don't see a lavender. But it definitely has a lighter blue. But I may not have all the colors here. Oh yeah, there's a hyacinth, which I don't see a hyacinth here. So there is a purple in here, but I might be able to tolerate it. We'll see. So that was number 1. Number 2 in that series is this one, number 2 in the Christmas series. See, it says number 2. Feliz Navidad. And I have it kitted with Legacy by Picture This Plus. Now, this particular piece of Legacy is more brownish. Some of them are more green. Then there's number 3, which is Bringing Good Cheer. This is also kitted. I just love these. Now they put Merry Christmas. The antique had a name. I see these and it makes me miss Barb all the more from Blackbird. What a tremendous loss to the stitching community. And I'm thankful Alma is still... She said that Barb left behind a lot of things that were unfinished, so maybe what she's doing now is finishing, and hopefully she'll keep designing. This is number 4 in the Christmas Sampler series. And this one is called Christmas Rose. So right there, I could just stitch, stitch, stitch. Oh, have I shown you enough? Oh my. I think for today, that's all I have to show you. That was a lot. And I actually thought I'm not going to have that much to show because I have the Peanut Gallery. Remember the Peanut Gallery? What show was that from?
It's Howdy Doody time.
Oh, Howdy Doody, yeah. Anyway. Gotta have his 2 cents in. Anyway, I didn't think I was going to have that much to show because I only did that Happy Thanksgiving, and then I was working on that Merry Old Soul by Brendan Gervais, The Little Santa. I thought, well, and a couple samplers. I thought, this will be like a 15-minute video. And then I started getting out my Christmas finished pieces, and I'm like, oh yeah, this may take a while. So if you've hung with me all this time, I thank you, and I hope this will get uploaded at some point. I just hope it's there. Sometimes when he goes to convert it, I just have to hold my fingers and say a prayer that it is where it's supposed to be and that it can go to where it's going to go. Uploading is not an easy task, and I am very appreciative that my husband does all that good stuff. So anyway, I will let you go, and I hope you have a good day. I hope you get some stitching in. I think it's about 75 degrees here today. It's pretty warm, isn't it, outside?
I don't know, I don't have my phone to check.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, it's pretty warm. But it's a beautiful day. So, hope you have a great day, and if you have snow, good for you, because I would love to have a little bit of snow, but it's not going to happen. So, anyway, love ya. Bye.